Jazzcast Pros.
Hey there, my graceful grinders and totally uniquers. Welcome to another live recording of the Grace and Grind podcast. I'm your podcast host and executive coach, Dr. Pamela Brown-Grinion, President and Chief Protocol Officer of Totally Unique Educational Consultants. I'm so excited that you're joining me today. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Grace and Grind podcast have taken a shift, and we're now talking about inner healing, inner development, inner polishing, all the things that we need to be focusing on in our third and fourth quarters of our lives. Yes, this is all coming to you live every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. on all of my social media platforms at I am DrPamala. That's I am Dr. Pamela. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Now, although we're talking about inner healing, please know that this podcast is still for educational, inspirational, and motivational purposes only. Yes, I am a trauma-informed practitioner. Yes, I am an executive coach. Yes, I am an international etiquette, life skills, and manners coach. And yes, I've combined all those things together to create what I call emotional etiquette. And I'm inviting you to join me on this journey of inner healing. So with that being said, let's jump right in. Now, what kind of thoughts do I do that I have to shoo away? When I was younger, I dealt with poor self-esteem and poor self-confidence. I didn't have self-confidence when I was younger because I thought that people could see everything on my face that I had gone through. So I would cower and I would keep my eyes down, and I didn't want any attention to myself. I didn't want any attention to myself. And so I would cower, or I would wear a mask of makeup and modeling and all that type of stuff, right? And I had to shift from that. And so the thoughts that come into my mind, sometimes, right? But I have the power to tell them, don't try me. Okay. Been there, done that. You can't get me with that. I get thoughts of, you're not good enough to be on Facebook Live and TikTok Live to be telling anybody anything about their life. And you know what I say? Been there, done that. You can't get me with that. Okay. And I get thoughts of, everybody can see your trauma all over your face. And then, I say to that, well, my trauma is beautiful because I've turned my pain into power. And I get sometimes, I know that you have all this education now and you're Dr. Pamela, but remember your high school counselor told you that girls like you don't go to college. And then I say, yeah, she did say that. And I can't change the past that she said that. But guess what? I did go and I went and got the highest degree in the land because she challenged me to. She challenged me. Don't ever tell me what I can't do. She challenged me to improve myself. Was I afraid to do it? Yes. Did I have imposter syndrome until I was 38 years old? Yes. But it doesn't matter how long you carry your self-doubt, your fear, your imposter syndrome. What matters is that you move. I moved. I did not have motivation. I moved. I did not have courage. I moved. I questioned my faith. I moved. I was on that ledge, thinking I could never do it. I'm not good enough to do it because someone else said. But I don't allow anyone else to do that to me anymore. Why? Because I have the power to control how trauma and what people say in my experiences show up in my life. I have the power to control how it impacts me. I have the power to control how much power I give it. I have the power to control that because I have free will. And I choose to use my free will the way I choose to use it. I don't allow people to should on me. SHOULD. I don't allow people to should on me. Girl, what you should do is, you should do this. I don't allow people to tell me, if I were you, you're not. I don't allow people to shift me from my royal blue brick road. Your brick road might be yellow, but my brick road is royal blue. And when people tell you, you ought to and you should, well, maybe that's what God told them that they should do. And when you jump onto their yellow brick road and abandon your royal blue brick road, you have detoured your own passion, your purpose, and your mission. You've deterred that. You've derailed that. So I don't allow people. I was all over the place. Pam, come do this. Pam, come do that. No. If it doesn't align with my purpose and my passion, don't ask me to do it. What's my purpose and passion? My purpose and passion is to help people to have emotional etiquette, that they learn how to deal with trauma and to change their trauma behavior, their responses to their trauma, to change their mindset, to learn how to polish yourself first on the inside, and then you work on the outside, or simultaneously, right? Don't just make it nice and pretty and a great presentation on the outside, because you really can't pull it off. Well, you might be able to for a little while, because I was really good at faking the funk, right? I was really good at wearing the mask and the facade. I was really good at that. But after I finished doing that, when I went home, after you leave the runway and the applause is gone. No one's applauding when you go home and you're by yourself and you're in the stillness with just you and God, right? And sometimes you're so blocked that you can't even hear from God. Well, I'm talking about me. I don't know about you guys. You guys may have lived a life where you always heard God in your ear and in your inner spirit. Well, I've had very long periods of my life where I was so blocked from trauma and pain that I couldn't even hear from God. I couldn't hear from my girlfriends. I couldn't hear it. My filter was too dirty, right? My soul wasn't free enough. So good may have been trying to penetrate my filter, but it didn't come. When it came through the filter, it was received as something else, right? It was received as something else. And that was internal. And once I started to work on me and to challenge myself, then I was able to hear from God, and then I was able to get direction. And just because you get direction doesn't mean that you move, because then that thing comes back of you're not good enough, right? Why should somebody listen to you? Should people listen to you just because you're Dr. Pam? Yeah. Yes. Right. And that's what I was thinking, that people should just listen to me just because, right? But that's not it. It's about impact. Why should you listen to me? Because I know what I'm talking about. And I've been there, done that. And I'm not going to tell you anything that I wasn't my first student and my first client, myself first, right? I love you too, Shelly Bell. My grandmother used to say, never been there, can't tell going there how to get there. What does that mean? That means that if I haven't gone through trauma and if I haven't healed from trauma, then I shouldn't be here telling you how to heal from trauma, right? I listen to Myron Golden, and he has this thing of be, do, have, and he always says that you can't do what you haven't been. You can't do what you haven't been, right? So in other words, because I've healed from trauma, I know how to heal from trauma. I know how to help you heal from trauma, right? That's what my coaching is all about. It's trauma informed and it's grace based, right? But if I didn't go through something, I can't tell you how to get over it. It's like, because Moses made it to the promised land and part of the Red Sea, we know all about that because Moses did that. So Moses can tell, whoever wrote the story can tell us that Moses did that because that happened. Moses did that, right? So I'm the person telling you I did that. I parted my own Red Seas with the help of God, of course. Yeah, I didn't do it by myself, but I had to be very intentional. And let me just say this. This is what's coming to me now. If you feel broken, and I know a lot of women, whatever your trauma is, I don't care if you've been abused in any type of way. if you've lived through poverty and that hurt you, if you're whatever someone passed away that was really close to you, if you had a divorce, if somebody's really ill from a terminal illness, and whatever, it's all trauma, right? This is what I need to say. Whatever happened does not have to rob you of your life, right? It does not have to rob you of your life. You get to choose if, okay, I have this situation, I have this traumatic experience, like right now happening, right? I get to choose how hey, Karen, hey, Mama Karen, how you doing? I get to choose how I respond to this traumatic experience, right? So I had a memory suppressed from 40 years ago, very traumatic, something that happened to me 40 years ago in the military, right? It just came back to me about 6 weeks ago. It came back to me, right? And for a while, this thing was haunting me. Like I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to park next to trucks. Like I was tripping. And I know I'm healed and I know how to heal, right? But I went through this period of fear and tripping and crying and like, oh my God, this happened. And you know what? About a weekend, I said, okay, enough is enough, because you can't be telling people that you have the power to control how this thing shows up in your life. So I gave it space. I admitted, yes, this terrible thing happened to me in this pickup truck. It did happen. I can't change that. It's a part of my life. It happened. Okay. Now, do I stay in this place and fall back in the rabbit hole that I've worked so hard to climb myself out of? Or do I say, hey, I gave it space. I felt it. I went back into that place. I sat in the middle of the memory. I saw, I smelled, I felt, I listened. I did all the things. I made it very present right now so that I could move past it. And then I said to myself, you know what I said to myself? Why am I doing this? This happened 40 years ago. I got too much in front of me to do. I have too much life in front of me to live. Why am I going to allow something that happened 40 years ago to rob me of my life today, in the here and now? It's not happening right now. I felt it. I smelt it. I heard it. All the things. Okay. All the things. Do you know that I have not dreamed about that since I said I have the power to control how this traumatic experience shows up in my life, how much power I give it, how I respond to it, and how much impact it has? I have the power to control that. And so I did. I shifted. I reframed. I said, you know what? That happened to me, but I'm going to turn my pain into power, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to help somebody else who is possibly living with trauma. Most people that I know have childhood trauma or past trauma, right? I was 17 years old. I was a kid. And I thank God that I didn't remember. I had part of a dream, but I didn't remember. I thank God that it came back at a time where I know how to maturely process it, a time where I know I have emotional etiquette. And that's important. Okay. So what I did was I reframed it, and the way I respond to trauma and situations changed. I'm a 59-year-old grown behind woman. I should not still be in the space where I'm allowing my emotions to control me, like I don't have control over my emotions. And so I made a decision, and I said, you know what? Enough is enough. And my best friend Welton said, I was going to give you one more day with that foolishness. And then I was going to remind you of who you are. Okay. Thank you so much, WD, because that's what a best friend does. A best friend gives you space and then say, okay, now enough is enough. And you got to have those kind of people in your corner, right? To say to you, okay, now what you going to do? Right? That's another one of Nana's things, that wisdom, that old wisdom. Now what you going to do? What you going to do? And then my girlfriend from the military, Tanya, used to say it too. So it just was a reminder. Now what you going to do? You've sat in it. You smelt it. You remembered it. You've listened to it. You talked to yourself about it. You gave it space. You gave it the energy. And now what's next? So I reframed and I said, I choose the impact that it has on me. And the impact is not going to be me falling into the rabbit hole. The impact is not going to be me allowing it to rob me of what I got things to do. I run a business. I'm a coach. I got to help people, right? So I didn't allow it to rob me of my right now responsibilities. Okay. I didn't allow it the power that it could have had I not been in the mature emotional space that I'm in now. I do this. Okay. And so I didn't allow it to have the power. I chose the impact and I chose my response. Right? So when I say that you have the power to control how situations in your life, how you respond to it, how much impact it has, how much power you give it, you do. And at 59, I refused. Okay. And so I know we've shifted but I guess this is how I'm spending time with you guys now. So it shifted from me spending time with myself to me spending time with you guys. And I'm so happy that you're here. I don't care if it's one person. I'm going to talk to that one person. Cousin, what you say? Yes, keep it real now. What? I like this conversation, much needed. I hope it's more to come. Absolutely. Guys, let me tell you something. I don't want to do this. Let me just be real about this. This is not what I want to do. I do not like the camera like this. Okay? This is not something that I said, you know what, I'm going to get on here and this was not that. This is, Pam, I've given you an assignment and you've done everything else is done. There isn't anything else to do. I've given you an assignment, right? Obedience is better than sacrifice, honey. I have learned that too. So this is me accepting my calling to come on here and talk to the women over 50. If you just want to do some change your life TikTok and change your life Facebook and change your life Instagram, like that's what this is. If you want stillness, that's what this is. Okay. If you want slow down and to remind yourself of who you are and to remind yourself to do something nice for you, that's what this is. Okay. To put yourself on the calendar. Okay. However your devotion time is. And I'm telling you guys, I'm restarting because I just get up and go, but I'm restarting and I'm being intentional about how I'm living my life. I did exercises. I did dancercise today because I love to dance and I hate to exercise. So one of my friends sent a video and I said, you know what? Cha-cha. I think it was the cha-cha slide. It was chair dancing. I did it in the chair. And then I said, you know what? You stand up. And I stood up and I just danced. So I spent some good time with myself and I love tea. And so I am having my tea. And I can't be on here talking about tea and not give you an etiquette tip, right? When you are sitting, your saucer stays on the table. When you are standing, you stand up with your saucer and your saucer acts as your table. That's the etiquette in that. And when you're holding your teacup, only one finger, this is a very small, you see how small that holder is. So only the handle is only one finger goes in there. And then I use this finger right here to balance. Now, sometimes I do it like this. This is how I teach my granddaughter to do it because she's not steady with the cup for balance. Okay. For balance. And it's no pinkies up. Okay. That's passe. Pinkies were only up because these handles were too small and the cups were smaller. And so there wasn't enough room for your fingers, but now there is. So pinkies down, ladies, keep your pinkies down. All right. So that is your etiquette tip for the day. I'm sitting, so my saucer will be down. When I'm drinking, my eyes, no matter what I'm drinking, my eyes is always looking at my beverage. And notice that I did not bring my head into my cup, right? I'm up, I'm posturesque, and I have my tea, and I bring my hand to my mouth. I just give myself a gentle nod so that I can come to the teacup. Right? Isn't that cute? Looking inside your teacup, okay? That's your etiquette tip for the day. All right? Now, I'm not going to be giving away all my tips for free. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the morning. And if you want to look at any products that I have now, I have some free things. You can go to my LINK and my bio, and I don't think it's on Facebook, but it is on my TikTok and Instagram. Kathy said pick a time, so we chose 8 o'clock. So invite somebody. Don't go on this journey alone, okay? Because we're going to be talking about healing from trauma and healing that little girl that's still living on the inside of the adult woman. If that's something that you think you need, just tell me. Just put a yes in the chat for me. That yes, I need to heal the little girl that's still living inside of my adult self. Be honest. I'm going to be honest. There are still some parts of her that I need to heal. So I'm going to be going on this journey with you. So invite someone, tell a girlfriend about this, that we're going to be meeting in the morning at 8, and we are going to be working on us internally, mindset, emotionally, spiritually, even financially, because you guys know I sell life insurance too, and I'm always talking about how to get your money right. So, and how to use life insurance to get it right. So we're just going to talk about all things female, and have some tea, have a little bit of devotion, and just chat. All right, my graceful grinders and totally uniquers. I know you enjoyed this episode because I enjoyed recording it for you. Please join me every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. on all of my social media platforms at I am DrPamala. That's I am Dr. Pamela. And remember, you can listen to this podcast anywhere you listen to any of your other favorite podcasts. All right? Now, you know what I'm going to say. I love you, love you, love you with my whole heart. I love you. I do. And you have the power to control how your trauma shows up in your life, how much power you give it, how you respond to it, and how it impacts you. You have the power to control. So embrace that and go and create your totally unique day on purpose. Until next time, ta-ta for now.